They're all multimillionaires. They come in, having a Dodge.
They're paupers.
Yeah,
they're paupers.
Yes, or at best, they're somewhat middle class, and they all leave multimillionaires.
Funny how that
happened. I wonder how did that happen. This is what President Trump had to say about the tariff pause yesterday.
Cut
3.
And it
sounds something like this.
Just a few hours later, there was a pause put in on the tariffs. Can you walk us through your thinking about why you decided to put a 90-day pause?
Well, I thought that people were jumping a little bit out of line. They were getting yippy, They were getting a little bit yippy, a little bit afraid, unlike these champions. Because we have a big job to do. No other president would have done what I did. No other president. I know the presidents. They wouldn't have done it. And it had to be done. What was happening to us on trade, not only with, if you look at it, not only with China, but China was by far the biggest abuser in history, and others also. But somebody had to do it. They had to stop because it was not sustainable. Last year, China made $1 trillion off trade with the United States. That's not right. And now I've reversed it. It's for a short period of time, but we made $2 billion. We're making now $2 billion a day. And somebody had to do it. Roger actually said it. Charles Schwab was here a little while ago, one of the great financial people, and he said he's been waiting for 40 years for somebody to do what I did over the last month. And if you didn't do it, you wouldn't have a country. It wouldn't be sustainable. So I'm honored to have done it. And, look, nothing's over yet, but we have a tremendous amount of spirit from other countries, including China. China wants to make a deal. They just don't know how quite to go about it. It's one of those things they don't know how quite. They're proud people. And President Xi's a proud man. I know him very well. And they don't know quite how to go about it, but they'll figure it out. They're in the process of figuring it out, but they want to make a deal. And we have many other countries, as you know, many more than 75, and they all want to come, and they want to come here, or they'll go to Commerce, or they'll go to Treasury. We have our great senators here and congressmen.
Love them.
They'll call John, they'll do somebody, they'll go through somebody, but they're all calling, how do we do this? They all want to make a deal. Somebody had to do what we did, and I did a 90-day pause for the people that didn't retaliate, because I told them, if you retaliate, we're going to double it. And that's what I did with China, because they did retaliate. So we'll see how it all works out. I think it's going to work out amazing. I think that our country is going to be at the end of a year or shorter, but I think we're going to have something that nobody would have dreamt possible.
I hope that's true.
Me too.
That's
125% on China, by the way. 125%.
Yeah, he talked about the wheeling and dealing, how it wasn't. This isn't just off the rack tariffs,
right? Yeah. He said, based on the lack of respect that China has shown to the world markets, I'm hereby raising the tariff charged to China by the United States of America to 125%, effective immediately.
Think about it.
At some point, hopefully in the near future, China will realize that the days of ripping off the USA and other countries is no longer sustainable or acceptable. Conversely, and based on the fact that more than 75 countries have called representatives of the United States, including the Departments of Commerce, Treasury, and USTR, to negotiate a solution to the subjects being discussed relative to trade barriers, tariffs, currency manipulation, and non-monetary tariffs, and that these countries have not, at my strong suggestion, retaliated in any way, shape, or form against the United States, I've authorized a 90-day pause and a substantially lowered reciprocal tariff during this period of 10%. Also, effective immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Good day.
Yeah, and the EU matched that pause. Okay, well, then we'll do a 90-day pause as well. So, there you go.
All right. So, everybody but China in on the pause, which is probably as it should be, because China is still trying to, they're still trying to screw us every day. And they continue to do that. They steal and they spy and they cheat. It was Kevin Leary had some interesting things to say. I think he was on CNN yesterday. This is Cut 6. Kevin Leary on the Chinese tariffs.
104% tariffs in China are not enough. I'm advocating 400%. I do business in China.
Wow.
They don't play by the rules. They've been in the WTO for decades. They have never abided by any of the rules they agreed to when they came in for decades. They cheat, they steal IP. I can't litigate in their courts. They take product, technology, they steal it, they manufacture it, and sell it back here. Never has an administration.
400% tariffs? What would that
I
look
want
like?
Xi on an airplane to Washington to level the playing field. This is not about tariffs anymore. Nobody has taken on China yet, not the Europeans, no administration for decades. As someone who actually does business there, I've had enough. I speak for millions of Americans who have IP that have been stolen by the Chinese. I have nothing against the Chinese people. They brought great literacy, art, and tech to the world. The government cheats and steals, and finally, an administration, you may not like Trump, you may not like his style or his rhetoric, finally, an administration that puts up and says enough. 400% tariffs tomorrow morning. I'll tell you why.
Love that.
She can only stay the supreme leader if people are employed. If we wipe out any business there, because we are still 39% of all consumables on Earth and 25% of the world's GDP, America is the #1 economy on Earth with all the cards. We will not have that forever. It's time to squeeze Chinese heads into the wall now.
Well,
I'm
hold
not
on.
talking about
Kevin.
tariffs.
Well, I hear you, but hold on. If we're talking about people, the average consumer, not necessarily the head honchos of businesses all across the globe, can they withstand the pressure of that sort of tax on the goods?
It's short-lived. There will be
but what's your timeline compared to, you don't know the average American's timeline, what they can actually survive. There's people right now who can't survive
400% tomorrow morning, cheese on an airplane to Washington to cut a deal.
Wow.
Okay.
That's ironic that you sent that clip in, Pat, because I almost sent all of you guys an 8-minute clip of him. That Kevin O'Leary, that's the Shark Tank guy, right? The Canadian, he's worth $400 million. I mean, he knows what he's talking about. And I watched an 8-minute thing where it was like an extended version of this. He has no mercy for China. And
like he said enough.
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing business there every day, and he's sick of their practices, stealing his intellectual property. I mean, over and over and over and over and over, they've done it.